Hello everybody and welcome to Streaming Reviews, a new venture where I'll be taking a look at shows that are available to watch on streaming services like Netflix, Crunchyroll, and so on. Now I know what you're thinking, but Kira, what could you possibly want to start this new venture off with? Yeah, I'm not gonna need this, am I?
Mako Mermaids, or Mako Island of Secrets as it was called in its native Australia, was a tween fantasy drama show created by Jonathan M. Schiff for Australian Network 10 and Nickelodeon.
However, the show was also aired internationally as a Netflix exclusive.
The show was a spin-off for another Schiff mermaid project, H2O Just Add Water. While H2O followed three ordinary teenage girls becoming mermaids and all the wacky shenanigans that come with that, Mako is a little more serialized and story-driven, though it does have its fair share of wacky moments as well. Also, unlike its predecessor, Mako Mermaids, in addition to three mermaids, also includes a merman as part of the cast.
But before we get into the series as a whole, there's one more base we need to cover.
Like most children's TV shows, and very much like its predecessor, Mako Mermaids uses an upbeat pop song.
In this world, we're all alone. You know I love my island home.
However, to compare, H2O had a very girly theme to fit with its very girly tone.
I've got a special power that I'm not afraid to use.
Not to say that Mako Mermaids didn't have its girly moments, but the majority of the first two seasons, well, 3 on Netflix since they, for whatever reason, decided to split season 2 into two 13-episode seasons, tended to focus on our main male protagonist, Zack, for whatever reason. Sorry, bit of a tangent there.
Back on topic, Mako's opening theme, Just Wanna Be, does a decent job in terms of getting the main point across, talking about the narrator's island home, referring to Mako, while still being optimistic that everyone will still be friends and all that 4Kids crap.
I did still say the show had its girly moments. Also, that's another one of these gone.
However, there was one choice that was made in terms of the creation of this title sequence that I just cannot forgive.
Let's see if you can catch what it is.
In this world, we're all alone. You know I love my island.
The title sequence uses Comic Sans. Let me say that again. The title sequence uses Comic Sans.
The first time I noticed this, it irked the hell out of me.
Coming off of a program that had a huge emphasis on web design, with typography being a significant portion of that, it makes this intro look like it was made by a 5-year-old.
A 5-year-old with an excellent sense of timing and a fantastic understanding of the fundamentals of video editing, but a 5-year-old nonetheless.
Now, please understand that there may be some spoilers ahead, so if you want to avoid those, skip ahead to this time code to get to my final thoughts and recommendations. Alright, for everyone else, let's get into the story.
The story follows three mermaids, Nixie, played by Ivy Latimer, Serena, played by Amy Ruffle, and Lila, played by Lucy Fry. They're tasked with guarding the Moon Pool, a sacred cave for mermaids.
Because mermaids are apparently powered by the full moon. I'm not joking.
Unfortunately, a boy named Zack, played by Chai Romruin, wanders into the cave during a full moon. In this cave, he falls through a portal in the floor, dropping him into the moon pool right in front of the three mermaids. The girls save him and follow him home to see if this has any adverse effects, and are horrified to discover that he's become a merman. Things are made worse when Serena's sister Aquata tells them that due to their carelessness, the pod is now in grave danger and is forced to flee the island. Sans, Lila, Nixie, and Serena, who have been banished. The girls swear to find a way to remove Zack's powers and quickly decide to use a moon ring Serena was given by her sister.
It's kind of like the Green Lantern ring, except powered by the moon, and used to enhance a mermaid's natural magical ability. And only given to a mermaid when she completes her okay, forget the Green Lantern ring.
To transform their tails to legs, revealing that their tails will remain hidden until they come in contact with water, or snow in one episode's case, then disappear as soon as they dry off. They run into him a couple of times, once even following him to his school, where they're introduced to the principal, Rita Santos, played by Kareth Atkinson, who, seeing Serena's moon ring, thinks the girls are thieves, takes the ring, and threatens to call the police. So the girls decide to do what any rational characters would do in this situation. They stalk Rita home and then commit felony breaking and entering.
Wait, what?
They quickly find out that Rita has the ever classic / totally cliche, take your pick, a bookcase secret entrance, and discover that Rita is actually...
Batman! I mean, a mermaid! A mermaid is definitely what I meant!
So Rita tells the girls her backstory, how she left the Mako pod to be with a land boy she fell in love with, only to have him die off screen. The girls tell Rita about Zack gaining powers and ask for her help, which Rita refuses, claiming she doesn't want to blow her cover. Serena then decides to take the next logical route.
After you leave today, I don't want to see any of you again.
That's not how it's gonna work. You're going to help us.
I'm not going to wreck my cover. Least of all for a bunch of outcast adolescent mermaids.
Speaking of mermaids, I can't help wondering what your school would think if they discovered their principal had a tail.
Blackmail! Oh, I'd like to point out that if charged, according to Wikipedia, the girls would be liable for a maximum of 15 years in prison for their first offense in Australia. Boom! Lawyered.
But Rita agrees, and the first arc involves Rita teaching the girls about mermaids and land people while they figure out a way to remove Zack's powers. The girls eventually decide that befriending him might be easier, and after an incident involving his best friend Cam, played by Dominic Deutscher, who Zack revealed a secret to back in the first episode, pushing him into a pool because he was tired of always covering for him, they do just that while still keeping the fact that they too are mermaids from him. He and the girls hope they can remove his powers by keeping him out of the light of the full moon.
Because I guess the full moon has a stronger effect on humans who had just recently turned into mermaids? Or mermen, in this case.
Needless to say, this plan doesn't work, giving him even more powers in the process, but they manage to keep Zack from finding the cave that started this mess. A few days later, after a filler episode called The Siren, where Serena accidentally bewitches her love interest David, played by Rowan Hills, with a siren song, they decide to head back to Mako Island during the day. With the discreet help of Serena's moon ring, Zack and Lila eventually discover a portal hidden in the cave that dropped him into the moon pool in the first place. Housed in this cave is a mysterious trident. During the next full moon, Zack is able to reach the trident and quickly discovers the truth about the girls, and the majority of the second half of the season has him and Cam serve as a sort of antagonists, hell-bent on grabbing the trident. And then the last 3 episodes have Zack pull a complete 180 while Cam goes kind of insane.
And that's really all I can say about the season without recanting it on an episode-by-episode basis. So let's talk about the characters, shall we? Like most teen shows, Mako Mermaids loves to stick to character archetypes.
Nixie tends to be a little more goofy, Lila is a bit cold, Serena's a kind one, Cam is the comic relief, Zack is... the guy.
Thought I was gonna make a Roman Reigns joke, didn't ya? Actually, for those of you who haven't seen Season 2 yet, you have no idea how on the nose this picture is.
The series has an interesting method of fleshing out these characters as the story progresses, although some characters kind of change on a dime, like Nixie randomly giving up hope that the pod will ever return. In terms of development, Lila was probably one of the most developed, beginning the season as a sort of ice queen, insisting things had to be done her way, to eventually warming up to Zack and possibly developing feelings for him. On the flip side, Serena was probably the least developed of the 3 character-wise, as she stayed pretty consistent throughout the season, with most of her episodes focusing on one of 3 things: her eventual relationship with David, the manager of the Ocean Cafe.
Basically the main hangout for the series. Think Ernie's Juice Bar, but with more seafood.
Her singing voice, and her relationship with her sister Aquata. Nixie and Zack fall somewhere in the middle, with Zack having a roller coaster of starting sympathetic, becoming an asshole, then making a total about facing the 11th hour, while Nixie stayed somewhat consistent, minus the aforementioned giving up hope on the pod.
Though she does have a somewhat interesting, albeit kind of out of nowhere character arc over the last 3 episodes that sees a rightfully earned mistrust of Zack lead to an uneasy alliance with Cam.
There was one other character who I didn't mention, as she, for the most part, doesn't have a whole lot of impact on the overall story outside of being a bit of a jerk to the mermaids, and that's Zack's girlfriend Evie, played by Gemma Forsyth. Evie was in a similar vein as Zack, staying consistently catty right until the end of the season, though she does show signs that her overall attitude stems from being worried about her boyfriend. Rita also really didn't have any development and only seemed to be there to serve as the mentor figure, teaching the girls how to live on dry land and teaching them spells to defend themselves when the time called for it.
And then there was Cam.
In terms of development, Cam was somewhat interesting, though there were points where he started to get really grating and whiny.
But it can't all be up to me. I just can't keep on stalling her forever.
Oh, so Evie's right. There is something going on with you and Lila.
Of course not. Then why do you want to hang out with them tonight, of all nights? I'm the one who helped you get it, remember? That means I get a say in what happens to it now.
I want my best friend back. Why are you trusting these strangers over your best mate? Why do you get all the cool merman superpowers? Why does Kira Kennedy's Australian accent sound British?
In the end, though, he was an okay villain fueled by jealousy, but won't reach the peak of his character development until Season 2. Which I probably won't cover for a while, since I can't find DVDs for Seasons 2 or 3 outside of Region 2, and that's kind of expensive. Right now, there's one more thing left to discuss. I actually like this series a hell of a lot more than its predecessor. If you take away the girly elements of the show, the only thing you have left to ask is whether or not the story is any good. While H2O's overall story was rather boring and uneventful, Mako Mermaids has actual stakes throughout outside of, "Oh no, I hope someone doesn't find my tail!" The girls are basically abandoned by their family and have to find a way to reunite with them while protecting their home from a possible threat that they blame themselves for creating.
And for the most part, it consistently keeps the story going, even adding in little tidbits here and there on episodes that would otherwise be classified as filler.
Unfortunately, the story, while told consistently, can also come off as rather weak and stretched out, and while there is some decent character development, a lot of the characters begin to devolve into annoying whines from time to time. In addition to that, the acting can come off as a little wooden at times, and the effects are horribly dated, making it look like they were made in 2007, not 2011.
Also, there was the relationship built up between Zach and Lila.
Maybe it was me reading too much into it, but it seems like the relationship built here was meant to be something more than friends. It kind of felt forced, yet while I was relieved that the relationship stayed platonic, part of me felt like the build-up for something more wasted all that time for nothing.
All in all, I definitely had an interesting time sitting through Mako Mermaids, though I could definitely see a few points where people might wind up jumping off the wagon. That's why my final recommendation is for you to stream the first 3 episodes and see where you stand.
Mako Mermaids is available for legal streaming through Netflix. However, you can also purchase the first season on DVD in Region 1 through Amazon, as well as Region 2 if you happen to have a Region 2 compatible DVD or Blu-ray player.
I'm Kira Kennedy, and I'll chill with you guys next time. Wow, that sounds stupid! Never doing that again!
Hey guys, Kira here, thank you for watching. Hope you really enjoyed the new series. If you did, if you didn't, hell, even if you have your own thoughts on Mako Mermaids, please let me know in the comments below. If you guys would like to follow me on social media, I am on Twitter at KiraKennedyHNR, Tumblr at KiraKennedyHNR.tumblr.com, and of course you can always check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/KiraKennedyReviews. You can also check me out on my brand new Patreon, patreon.com/KiraKennedy. All the info will be over there. I'll be posting up a video explaining what that is in the next few days as well. But if you'd also like to check out any of my past work, my Let's Plays, my stream archives, even my reviews, you can do so at peanutbutterdisaster.com. So, until next time, I'm Kira Kennedy, and thank you for watching.
Peanut butter disaster.